Yeah, hi guys, hi all. Uh, this is the second session of the week that we have started. So this is the second session we have in DevOps with Azure, offered by Guruschools actually. In the last session, we have discussed about lot of things in the sense mainly on the concepts, on the principles, or what are the benefits, and also the challenges that we are getting in DevOps actually. So during that session, we just gone through some of the concepts like waterfall model, agile model, and also DevOps. So we just go through it, and we said that yeah, there are a lot of tools integrated with DevOps, and it's a practice. It is not a software. Like we discussed it like that, and obviously we will be using different tools to implement DevOps in our project. So DevOps or waterfall model or agile, whatever it may be, all are some methods or some strategies that we are adopting in our project actually. So how the project has to be done. Project in the sense, if we are developing a software or we are publishing a website or we are like publishing a mobile application or something like that, everything we can call as a project, and the practices or the strategies or the methods we can call it as whatever. So that kind of like the methods or strategies that we can adopt. These are the options that we have mainly. Historically, it was like all are following waterfall, and then started working with agile model, and then like now it's been something like that. So and this entire week the session will be mainly focused on this DevOps principle, also the models that we have and the benefits and challenges. So you guys can also have like you may have some doubts on this whenever I'm covering this topics. Yeah, will obviously you will be having some doubts. So you can ask that like right away. So you can interfere the session and then you can just ask. I so I think there is some option to hand raise or something. There in Zoom. Yeah, or you can just unmute and can do it. So yeah, that was that recap of that last session we had. Now we'll be moving into the, as I said, this is the second session which is related to DevOps principle, benefits and challenges. In this session, we'll be mainly discussing on the models actually. Models means the agenda is like we'll be discussing on the waterfall model for some time, agile methodology, and also about DevOps practices. So here we'll cover what all things these concepts have. So first of all, I'll tell you the importance of like this session. This is also, as I said, this week is also having some theoretical knowledge and all. But sorry, yeah, but these are the concepts that we need to understand. So when we are going to an interview or when we are approaching a project, there may be questions or there may be scenarios or there may be some situations that you need to describe what is waterfall or what is agile or what is the difference between waterfall and DevOps, some kind of things. Actually. So the main takeaway is something like you have to understand what is waterfall, what is agile, and what is DevOps actually. So this is this is a fundamental understanding that you need to know as a DevOps engineer, because why we are using DevOps. Okay, so eventually we'll be getting into DevOps and its practices, saying, yeah, so and so can be done using waterfall, so and so can be done using agile. But yeah, there are a lot of pros and cons available for these models. So we'll be moving through DevOps, something like that. So it's a journey like that, like what's waterfall, what's agile, and what's DevOps. So we had a discussion in the last session. Definitely we'll be deep diving into it. So you can shoot out your queries. Yeah, that's what I can say as an introduction. So first of all, we'll be starting into waterfall mode. The previous session, we discussed about how a software development is working, right? There is plan, or there is build, or there is code, or there is testing, deploy, monitoring, operate. Yeah, there are a lot of steps associated with some software development life cycle, right? We can call it as an SDLC actually. So to do that, like to adopt that SDLC in our project, we need to refer some models. So waterfall model is one of the famous model that we will be integrating in our projects. What was the goal actually? Our goal is to complete the project. So to complete the goal, project, which means to achieve the goal, we will be adopting some strategies or methods in our project. That's what like normally these kind of models will do. So when it comes to waterfall model, this is a diagram. So I just draw that in the last session. So you'll be getting clarity on how it looks like. So waterfall model is something like you can say that it's very simple to understand actually, because from the picture itself we'll be getting that idea, right? One activity like it is starting from something, then what it will be going to the next step, and like it is going downwards. So that is the main attractive of this model. It means it's a basic model that we have in SDLC. You guys are following me, right?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Something
Yes, sir.
there, yeah, just let me know, because and I'm saying why this is important is like, yeah, I already told you, no, like you guys need to take, definitely you guys are looking into some job roles, so you'll be getting questions, you'll be getting.
Sir, your voice is inaudible, like it's kind of blurry.
Okay, okay. What about now? Now it's fine. Are you able to hear me
Yeah,
clearly?
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Okay. So yeah, I'm saying that is important. So I hope you got the importance of this kind of topics actually. So yeah, this waterfall model, it is something like it's a classical model that we can say that is very simple actually. It is very simple in the sense, as the picture says, it's very simple, right? We can follow what it is saying. We can easily follow that because there is one step by step. So it is like one step. Then after that, then another step. It is like one by one. It is coming up. So it's very simple, but it is something ideal actually. Um, the main thing is it is very popular. Okay, it is very popular in olden days actually. That's why we are discussing this for 15 minutes actually. This was very popular in olden days because it is due to its simplicity and it is ideal actually. That's why it was that much popular. There are different kind of models during that time, but that is not much popular as this waterfall model. So that's why we took waterfall model. And mainly that SDLC that we said, no, that is related to this waterfall model actually. So yeah, there is also some definitions on this. We don't need to look into it because that's not our agenda and that's not the thing that we need to follow. Okay, if we say that like it's a definitely it's a software development model that is used in our project actually. We can call it as we can use it in large or complex projects. It is mainly used in which area? It is mainly used in IT, definitely, right? For projects that we are using in information technology, we'll be using this waterfall model. So it is, and the main thing is, it is something like a following sequential approach, actually, right? Because one after the other. So it is like a sequential approach also. So we can use this waterfall model to manage the product, which means project management, and also what we'll be using for software development, right? So the main takeaways are like it was popular in olden days. It is used in IT. It is following a sequential approach that is used for project management and software development. So the main thing is the requirement. Yeah, there are different steps, right? Requirement gathering, analysis, system design, implementation, testing, development, maintenance, right? There are different steps available. So the main thing is in this step, the requirements or the gathering and analysis, whatever this step is requiring, it has to be well defined, which means we need to understand what exactly the requirement is actually. So what is the project goal? It has to be pretty clear. Hmm? So when we are using this model in large projects and all, like maybe we can call it as a timeline of 1 year or maybe 2 year or 3 year, or it is something like a project that we are finishing in a 1 month. Also, there will be a chance of getting some errors, right? Maybe the decision changes or the requirement changes, something like that. Because, for example, before COVID, like we all are working from office, and after COVID, what happens? Like that, the mode of working has like had an evolutionary change, and people start working from their comfortable home, right? So they are sitting inside, like in front of their laptops or desktops, and they will be starting working. So that requirement, the thing is, that requirement has changed, right? So like that, definitely it is something like related to that requirement. So the requirement or the analysis or the goals and all those things has to be well defined actually. So we need well defined details of that. And we will be doing what actually will be doing some designs in the sense like according to this requirements, we'll be designing this project, how we need to do. For example, in a construction, yeah, we are like if we need to build a house, what we will do, we'll be having like requirements, right? That a civil engineer or whatever the architect or that guy will be taking ask us a lot of questions, right? How many rooms you need? How many like kitchen you need? Do you need some? How many like common bathrooms or how many attached bathrooms you need in your house? Or do you need something like a car porch or sit out or something like that? Or how many drawing rooms you need? Yeah, there are a lot of questions, right? So according to the questions, they'll be preparing some designs, right? Like they'll be preparing some plans, and yeah, we'll be having a lot of discussions on that. Like yeah, whether we need to go this with a particular plan or we need to retro what that engineer did, right? So there will be some situations like that actually. So that is happening in system design actually. I'm just like linking it with an like lifetime like real world scenario. So it is like creating a plan and all, like creating a design and all actually. And the next step is like implementation, right? So in the implementation, what happens like we'll be starting implementing that design that we created after the discussion. So it is like whatever we did, like we designed in the design session, we'll be referring that and we'll be implementing in that in the this stage, right? So it is like if we have a well-defined requirement and a design ready, definitely we can go for implementation, which means we can mention that coding or something, right? Once this code is ready, we can test it. So the thing is, there is no change in like once we did the system design, there is no change in requirement. Once this coding is started, there will be no change in system design. Once the testing is started, there will be no changing in the code. Okay, and definitely here there will be development like in this section also there will be like whatever the results or takeaways that get from this stage, they will be adding that in their code, and finally like the deployment will be happening, and they'll be maintaining that. Like if some maintenance or something is needed, they'll be keep doing that, right? So this will be the step, like one by one step. uh, Guys, do you follow this? Are you comfortable with
Yeah,
this?
yes, sir. Yeah, yes, sir.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions?
Sir,
Yeah, Anguram.
so,
Yeah,
so
go ahead.
where
Go
is
on.
this actually? Yeah, so I have just one question. So, I mean, where is this waterfall model? I mean, model is actually been implemented. I mean,
Yeah,
is it
that's
like
what that.
implemented in software development thing, or
Yeah, it is.
can you?
Yeah, definitely. That's what I said. No, it is something related to software development. it will be something related to project management also. So whenever we are developing a software or a website or an application or whatever the product in which area in IT, okay. So whatever the product that we are or the project we have in IT, there we can implement waterfall model. Okay, for example, if we are developing a website, for example, I am the developer. Okay, so I am the company that is doing that project, and yeah, you have a requirement like you need a website, your profile website. Okay, so first of all, what we will do, I will ask you what all things we need to like implement, what all things we need to include in that website, right? So that is the first step actually. That is requirement gathering, because I am getting your requirements. Without requirements, I can't do anything, right? Because you need some software which replicate, like which give your portfolio or something, your portfolio. But if I did something else, that's not your requirement, and that will not align with your requirement, right? So the first thing is like requirement gathering. So I will be getting requirements from that. And once that is, yeah, and we feel that, okay, Sufyan, yeah, we are going good to go. You said, yeah, okay, you can go with these details. Yeah, then we'll be going with the design of the website actually. And you will be going through some templates or something like that, or you will be going through some of the websites, maybe like a popular websites or the attractive one that you are looking into. So that will be done in design part. And yeah, we'll be confirming that. And then we will be starting like whatever the template that we are referring, we'll be trying to implement that, right? Like we'll be integrating your details into that, and whatever the like requirements, we'll be trying to align with that and all, right? And then we'll test it like it is going good, or it is getting some errors. If we are getting some errors on about page or your like portfolio page, or we are not like, even if I uploaded your image, that image is not reflecting there. So there will be a lot of issues, right? So that kind of testing will be happening. There are unit testing, different type of testings are there, like coding unit testing, integration testing, different kind of testings will be happening. Then like it will be deployed and developed, like rectifying all those errors, bugs and all will be doing. And finally, like we'll be having a contract, like a 1-year contract or something that says that, okay, if something happens in this, till 1 year, you just need to support me. So I'll be supporting you on your that website actually. So that's the entire, that's the basic idea of this. So I hope you got my point.
Yeah, yes, sir, I got it.
Yeah, cool. So we'll be moving into the next thing, agile methodology. So why I am like as I said, no, keep in mind that these are important. The concepts are important, but like you will not answer every step and what all happening in every step. You don't need to bother about it, but you need to understand what is it and how it works. That's it. Okay. And why I'm taking some time for this is like, definitely, if you need to remember that, I have to spend some time on it. So the next is agile methodology. You're able to see my screen, right? The slides
Yeah,
you're
yes, sir.
able to see.
It's visible. Yeah.
Okay, okay. So next we will come to agile. What is agile actually? Yeah, we heard about that. Yeah. So the entire structure has changed, right? Earlier it was like sequential one. Now it is something, even if it is sequential, there are something different, right? Because there are planning happening, requirement gathering. Yeah, it is similar as the like whatever we see in waterfall model, but it has something more. Like we can see something, some like a repetitive task, right? In waterfall model, there is no go back, right? Like once that activity is done, that's done. No feedback or feedback loop or something like that. But here it is something different. We will getting a circle, like we'll be going in a loop. So 1, 2, 3, 4, right? In this kind of manner, there is something that we are doing repetitive. So the agile is something like it's a process model actually that is also related to software development. Okay, so it is for a software development itself. It is for a software development, definitely. The main thing is it is iterative. Iterative means it will be repetitive. So the tasks are splitted, right? There are different tasks, like you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So the tasks are splitted and that will be happening in each and every interval. So even if we have some, like there is an option in waterfall model, what happens? Once you guys said, okay, you need this website, that's it. Like there is no change in requirements. So if we have a change in requirement, definitely we need to rethink, right? So basically, Agile will help you to do that. If you have something like the requirement is changing or something, then this will help you, because the requirement gathering, designing, or the construction or whatever, the development and all, testing, deployment, also the feedback, right? So this will be happening iteratively. So even if we have a requirement here, after that we will be starting doing that, and then development, and then we will be deploy that, and we will take feedback from that. And yeah, we see, okay, there is some requirement change, or you think that, okay, initially I started with, I need 4 pages in my website. Okay. And I started on doing and so and so. And when I review it, I saw that, yeah, 4 pages is fine. But I think, yeah, if I have an extra 1 page, something describes about my projects or something, means what all project experience I have, I wanted to add that. So it's an added requirement, right? So we can think about it, and like eventually what we can add that requirement. So we'll be getting that total 5 pages. So that we'll be checking, is there any change in the requirements again and again in a low kind of thing. So it will be iterative. So we'll be going one by one, and we'll be like, it will be a sequential one, but like it's iterative. So that is the main advantage of this Agile. So definitely in requirement gathering, yeah, I will be defining the requirements. Like we will get the requirement. Next step, you will be design, and the next step, yeah, we'll be doing that. Whatever the requirement have, will be deploying that, and like we'll be developing that, and then testing into right deployment. Same way. But the idea is like it is iterative. So yeah, it's something like that, and there are softwares that we'll be using for that to manage its agile methodology. Actually, do you heard about Jira? Jira, do you guys heard about this? Jira.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, it's a software actually we can use to follow some, like to manage the project. Because for example, if we are building a house, right, we can easily monitor it, whether how much work is done, whether it is like till the belt and all, like, or the foundation, or like if it is a 2 tier, then the 1 tier is done, or how many, like we can easily follow that because we can see that, right? But in software development and all, how can we see that? We can't see, right? Because that code will be residing in someone's laptop or maybe in some repository, some storage. So we can't easily identify that, right? So for that, like while we are using these kind of methodologies, we'll be using some softwares. So Jira is one of the popular tool that we'll be using, and is agile methodology. Jira is for actually tracking the project and all. Like for example, if we have a task means I need to create a page. Okay, page one. I need to create a page one, which is a home page. Then in Jira, there will be an entry for this page one, and it will track when we started. Okay, Monday I have started to develop this page. So it will be noting, like there will be an option to note that, okay, that task is started on Monday, and till which like, yeah, I'll be trying to finish it this week. So I'll be planning to finish it in Friday. And yeah, I can, like, after my hard work and all, I finished it on Thursday. So here I got 1 day, right? So even if we planned it Friday, even if it is doing one day earlier, here in this software we can like mark it, like we can mention that, okay, it is resolved, it is done, something like that we can mention. Or even if it is taking into next week, that's also fine. But that we will get an idea, like we will get some dashboard and all, and we can follow what is happening there actually. So that's Jira actually, and yeah, then that's it for agile methodology. Yeah, there are a lot of things actually in behind, but that we don't need to look into. Actually, you need to follow this. Guys, do you have any doubts on this?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, you are following, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Why I am asking is like it's important to understand these things. That's it. So yeah, this is what agile is, and I will be moving forward to the next waterfall versus agile. Okay, let's look into the comparison. Yeah, see, in agile, what I said, like client input is required throughout the product development, right? So, like requirement is very much important in agile. In waterfall, what happens? Client input is required after completing each this thing, right? As we said, that is needed on each phases. Once that phase is done, no need to feedback and all. But in agile, it is not like that. It is required throughout. Here, what happened? It is only after completing, right? Then, what is the advantage of agile? Changes can be done at any stage. But in waterfall, what happens? Changes we can't make, right? We cannot make any change after the completion of a phase, as we said. And here we need a coordination with the project teams. There are different kind of teams will be available: project management, development, operations, and all, right? So we need a coordination. In waterfall, we don't need a coordination as much as in agile, because dedicated team will be work like on a dedicated phase. So design will be done by design team, development will be done by development team. So it will be like we don't need much coordination on that. And it's a really useful for large and complex projects. But waterfall mode is mainly used for what? It is for a small project. Because of this, changes cannot be made after completion of the phase. That's why, like, mainly we can use it for small projects. The testing part can be started before development of the entire product. But here what happens, testing will be started only after that product is ready, which means that phase is completed. Here, a small team is sufficient to do project management, but here it requires a large team. Why? Because this is a repetitive task. So even if we have a 4-member, 5-member team, we can do that. But here what happens, we need dedicated team for each phase. So it will be like, it will consume more manpower. Also cost also, right? Because if you have 4 people, we are giving salary to 4 people. And if you have like need a waterfall model, there will be more members and we need to, like, the cost will be higher, right? The effort will be higher. So it will be like that. And yeah, in terms of time, it will be done in less time, but it will waterfall will take more time compared to agile. And agile is flexible, but it is like not flexible. It is quite rigid actually, because we saw that one by one we need to do. Here each sprint or cycle test plan is discussed. Here only one time it is happening, right? So these are the main what comparison to get an overview. Shall I move?
Yes, sir.
Great. Yeah, then we'll be getting into DevOps practices. Yeah, as I said, we didn't like go through this diagram a lot on the last session. Yeah, today we'll be mostly covering, yeah, what is this diagram, what actually it is giving as an overview. So as we know, DevOps is a set of practices, right? It is a set of practices. So that practices will be achieved using some tools. And also it's a cultural philosophy actually. The main thing is what? In DevOps, we will be automating things, okay? That's the main component. It will be automating. Also, some kind of integration will be happening. Okay. So automation will be happening, integration will be happening. Where this integration is happening? It is between the dev team and the ops team, right? So it is like an automating practices and also an integration in between the dev team and ops team. So here you can see that, right? What happens, like we'll be building, testing, we'll be giving a release, then deploying, operating. Operating means we will be like virtualizing or that, and we will be monitoring, and then we'll be like planning it again, coding it again, building. So it's kind of repetitive, right? We can call it as a loop, right? So it is kind of a loop actually. And in each step, for example, coding or building or testing, yeah, different stages as well, right? In every stages, we will be using some tools. That's why like DevOps is something that using tools a lot. Okay, so it is starting from plan, build, test, deploy, operate, like continuous integration, continuous deployment or delivery. This kind of things is there actually. And we can say that, okay, in plan, right, or discover or whatever, but it is happening, they'll be using some agile methodologies. Okay, so in DevOps, there will be what? Some agile methodologies also. Okay, we will adopt some agile methodology or the agile practices for what? To increase some speed and quality. Okay, we'll be using that. We will be using agile to increase the speed and quality. And as we know, agile is an iterative approach, right? So it will help us to like distribute the work in between the teams. So there will be different teams working on it. So we can distribute it different teams to achieve the goal. And in build, yeah, definitely in build, yeah, development is happening. We need to automate something. So here we'll be using some tools for storing our code and all, right? So we'll be storing that and we'll be using that tools to store our code, checking our code, and the development will be happening inside that. Developers will be pushing their code into that storage. Storage in the sense, yeah, we can call it as a repository. Okay, we'll be calling it as repository, not storage. So also that kind of thing. Okay, so will be happening from there. Whatever we coded, it will be taken and the development will be happening. Once the development is happening, what happens? We need to test it, right? Because whatever we build, we need to test it because if we have some errors, as same as the agile technology, agile methodology, we need to test it. Do we have any issues? Why we test? It is a part of quality control, right? So we'll be testing it out. Different kind of testing will be there, unit testing, integration testing. There are a lot of testing will be there. And yeah, there will be different tools available there for that actually. So we can use that tool to test actually. And then, yeah, there is a release is happening, right? Release is happening. Deployment is happening. Deployment is happening in Azure actually. Okay. Then some kind of operation is happening, containerization or something. Do you heard about Docker? Docker and Kubernetes?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what it is?
Docker is a storage, I guess.
Okay.
It is a it's like a tool where we can like do different things like build,
Yeah.
test, or
Yeah.
I think Kubernetes is also similar to it, right?
Actually, yeah, we will be looking into this later, but for yeah, I'll give you a small idea. Docker is something like, see, we can, yeah, we have a system, right? We have a Windows system. Okay, this is a Windows system. Okay. For example, in our laptop, if we need MS Word, okay, Microsoft Word, what we will do? We will download it and install, right? And if we need another application, also we will be downloading it and installing it in our system. So this application need some requirements, right? Because the system has this kind of memory, this kind of things will be available. They need something like that, right? So there will be some requirements for this application. And if we install, like if we have, for example, Java. Okay, Java is a language and it has some packages. So we need to install Java in this PC. This Java has some what prerequisites, means we need to install some JDK, or Windows needs some .NET versions, or some prerequisites are there. Okay, so once we did this, we are able to install MS Word or Java or whatever package, whatever software we need to install, that we can install, no issues. But consider, once this is installed, I need to replicate it to another, my friend's laptop. Okay. Here what happens? Whatever the requirement we need to install it again, right? Because we need to install .NET or whatever the requirements, we need to install it again. Okay, so it is like there is like we need to do this, the steps again. Okay, but in Docker, what happens, right? Whatever we install, it will be comes as a package. Okay, a single box. So it can run standalone, like it don't need any requirements, prerequisites or something. It can run on any OS or something. Okay. So if we put it here, it can run. If we put it in our friend's laptop, it can run. So it is like a box or something. For now, I'll be finishing with this. We'll be explaining much on that session. So just understand, it's something like we'll be putting all those things into a box and we will just delivering that box into this system. They get me?
Yes, sir. Sir, I had a question.
Okay.
So the course we are doing, it is Azure Cloud and DevOps. So now we are learning DevOps and then we are moving to Azure Cloud Network. So Azure is similar to GCP and AWS, right?
Yeah.
They're just the same thing, but different operators. Like Azure is from Microsoft, GCP is Google,
Yeah.
and AWS is
Yes.
operator.
Yes. Yeah.
All.
Yeah. Yeah. What you are asking, like, is that enough, or do you have anything to ask?
No, I was just asking that when we are done, like if we understand Azure Cloud Platform, so how easy is it to get to understand GCP, AWS, or they are very different from Azure?
Yeah, that I can say one thing. Mainly, the advantage of Azure is, if you know Windows and all, then you can like understand Azure easily. In AWS, what happens, right? We need a Linux understanding basically. Okay, so you can look into any job roles or something. So mostly an AWS engineer will be someone who will be having expert in Linux. Like Azure engineer will be there with Linux experience, but it is more than like for AWS, it's a prerequisite to understand Linux. Even if they don't know Linux, yeah, that's fine. They can learn, no issues. So even if it is GCP or AWS or Azure, whatever the cloud, it is only a provisioning plan, right? So it is only a part of DevOps actually. Either we need to go Azure, AWS or GCP, that's fine. If we have at least one, then we'll be having that, like we'll be able to deploy, right? So the concepts will be same. I said you earlier also, The concepts will be same, but the terms may be different. That's the main thing. So if you get one thing, yeah, we can easily learn the other one. That's what I can say on that. Because
Thanks for
it is,
clarifying. Thank you.
yeah, it is now, and how I can say is, if you know Azure, you will be getting like basic idea on what all things this and this, like what all things we have, what are services, right? So we can go to AWS or GCP easily because you know the facts, you know the fundamentals. So you can go. That's my call on that. So yeah, you asked is DevOps is a agile methodology. Yeah, actually DevOps is not itself an agile methodology. It is using agile methodology. Yeah, the last, yeah, it's a culture actually. Yeah, it's a culture that we'll be implementing in a project. So while we are doing a project or we will be doing some software development or something, we'll be integrating, like we'll try to integrate that culture into our project. That's it. Correct. And yeah, as I said, these are the different stages that we will be covering. And as don't confuse over much because in this mostly in this first week we'll be discussing on the concepts and what all things are there. It will help you in the future sessions. Okay, so you can, we are providing recorded sessions also, right? So after every sessions you can follow that, so you will be getting that. Once we start Azure, once we start the tools, yeah, then like you can also watch this video too. So then you will understand, okay, what I'm saying. Currently, you will have some doubts. Definitely, it will be something like a smoke. Okay, what is happening? Something. I understand that because there will be like there are a lot of things beyond this section. So slowly, when the course progresses, you guys will got idea on this. So keep in mind that sometimes, like yeah, these are some terms that we need to understand or keep in mind. Will be like mentioning that in different times in during the course. Also, I'm not I'm not giving definitions on this each terms now because that doesn't make sense because we don't need it. We'll get an idea. Okay, what it is. So if you need, like, if you are just curious about it, you can just Google it, what it is. Okay, what is infrastructure as code or that kind of thing. You can just Google it if needed. But I'll not give you any definitions on that because that's not needed. You need practical knowledge on this. So you will be familiar with these terms. Only just note it down, like just keep in mind that, yeah, there are some source code, version control, infrastructure as code, provisioning, configuration management. So logging, continuous integration and CI/CD, very much important. So yeah, I can in this I can point out some topics that the CI/CD, infrastructure as code, configuration management. Yeah, these three are very important. Okay. Also, this version control. Yeah, these four are very much important. Others are important, but if we compare with these four, like these are very important. So just keep an eye on it. Okay, these four things are very important. Others are also important, I said, but yeah, we have some like comparably, these four are very important. Okay, so I will be definitely like explaining that too. While we doing that our practicals, then you will understand more. So yeah, the floor is open to you guys. You can shoot your queries, whatever you have, whatever doubts you have, just go ahead.
Sir, what is version control?
Version control. Version control is something, yeah. Actually, we do have a session on that, but for a simpler definition, I can say, for example, I have a code, okay. I have a code and for example, yeah, I am using, this is a code, okay. For example, this is the word I am currently using. And I am thinking to update it. Okay, currently I stored it in a repo. Repo means a storage repository. Okay, it's a short form of repository. So repo is something, a storage. Okay, you can call it a storage. That's I said now. So be familiar with that term, repository. Okay. So I stored it in a repo, and I'm thinking I need to add something. Okay. So I'm adding what? Sufyan M. So I'll be updating this. So now what is there in this report? There is Sufyan M. Earlier, what it was Sufyan, right? So there is a change happened. In this repo, we can call it as this is the version 1, this is the version 2. If I update it something like M Sufyan, that is a version 3. So we are handling different versions in this repo. So it is updating one by one. And also there is something, some branching and all that we will discuss later because we will not understand it now. So it is something like handling different version. Do you get that?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. The floor is yours actually. You guys can ask. Do you have any doubts and all?
Sir, I think whenever we start the classes the for specific automation development and the whole DevOps course, I think then I'll have definitely questions. I think I understood whatever you
Okay.
thought at the moment.
Okay. You guys are following, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, sir, we're following.
Yeah. Like if you need any kind of suggestions, you can have so that I can add up because I'm trying to like explain new things in a good way to understand and all. So if you are getting, yeah, that's nice. Happy to hear that.
So so are we going to do each one day like version control on one day, then IS infrastructure as code on one day, and like how are you planning?
Yeah, one second. I'll show you that. I shared this in the group. Okay. So mainly we'll be focusing on this. Big one will be mainly focusing on this. Big two, yeah, will be like mainly focusing on the cloud computing and Azure services. So we'll be having a lab also. So deploying an application, and IP address subnet and all. Okay. Week 3 will be covering network, load balancing, firewalls and all. Week 4 will be like using CI/CD tools, Docker, Kubernetes and all. Here, week 5, yeah, definitely SonarQube and that kind of things we'll be covering. And yeah, this will be the entire path that we will be following. So see infrastructure as code. Also, you can see some observability, Azure, like monitoring kind of things. Here, repos, right? So here, version control, you can see, right? So we'll be covering it like that. So configuration management, as I said, no, there is something we have configuration management. So we'll be covering most of that. And for each week, definitely we will be having at least 3 sessions. And we'll be taking more also, like what we will do, right? From next session, like I'll be finishing off this week one, and I'll be starting this on the next session. So like we don't need another session on this section. So I'll be adding a session to this. So you will be getting an extra session this week too. So like that I can manage and you guys can follow. You get me? I hope I answered your question. Was Abdullah also can.
Yeah, yes, sir. Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, that's how we are planning. And yeah, I'll try to. It's like even if we are having a session a day in a week, like twice a day, twice in a week, like you guys just put your like hands dirty so that you guys can get it. Okay. And yeah, this is basically, yeah, in that poster itself, you will see some CI/CD and all. Yeah, we'll be following this and we'll make some required changes in this to cover your requirements also. We'll try to do that, but mostly we'll be aligning with this. Okay, next thing I'll be, yeah, regarding tools. What I can say is learning old tools. I don't know. I don't know means I can't say that it's possible. Like it is something like there are a lot of tools. Lot of tools means there are a lot of tools. Like hundreds of tools available in the market. But we'll be referring the high market share product. We'll be using Terraform, Docker, Git will be using. So Kubernetes. So we will not go to every tools because yeah, even if we go to a market, right, we'll be seeing a lot of shops actually. Even we see like same kind of shops, we'll be selecting anyone from that, right? How we will be selecting that? Yeah, with a reasonable price, which is offering some varieties, which is offering something new, which is offering something durable, which is having like helping us to like give some values, right? So considering that kind of things also in DevOps, we'll be using some tools which is already established and which is widely used because most of the job roles needs some tools actually. If we take a DevOps engineer profile or DevOps engineer job role. This is 100, not 100%, 150%, these tools will be there. Okay. These four. There are different tools than this. Like you will be also using some other tools also. It is not mentioned here, but yeah, it is like that. So it's just an idea on how we'll be following that. And the next thing, yeah, I'll be introducing some more tools to see. There are, as I know, there are different tools, Ansible, Kubernetes again, Docker, then yeah, Azure DevOps is there, GitHub, SonarQube, Postman.
Sir, what about Ansible, sir? Ansible, because I have seen many I mean GDs in the group. I mean some HRs were posting on the group, and in that like there was like a specific I mean tool information like Ansible is needed, something, so are we gonna learn Ansible as well?
Yeah, my answer is you can see this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we'll be using that. Yeah, automation configuration management with Ansible. So it is like yeah, we'll be using that, and Ansible will cover. Okay. And then yeah, these are the main. As I said, now there are a lot of tools. These are some of the tools that we also will be source code management. Will be using ES codes. With Bucket, we don't need much actually. We'll be mainly focusing on GitHub. Do you guys have any GitHub profile? Do you know what is Git?
No, sir. I personally don't know what's it.
Okay. Atula, do you know?
Yeah, sir, I used it. I downloaded it and I ran few commands on it, but
Okay.
I still need to get back on track.
Yeah. Oh, okay, that's fine. Because Git and GitHub is different. Maybe you downloaded Git. Okay. Because Git is something like that we can download into and install in our system.
Oh, so I have Git bash.
Git bash, yeah. Right? This thing you are seeing, right?
Yeah,
Something like,
same
yeah.
thing, same thing.
Yeah, okay. It's Git actually. Okay. And GitHub is different. Not much different. That is something like a hub, as we can say, something like a what? Yeah, we'll be all storing those Git files in GitHub. That's it. We'll get say UI and all. Git we will not get that much UI, right? Only that black screen, and we'll be doing that using that. So GitHub is a like a market that we can store our Git repositories. So we have yeah, these are the different tools, and obviously there are a lot of tools other than this. We'll be using that also. We'll try to what we'll try to do it. We'll try to cover on. Okay. So that's the main, and I'll be going to the next slide. Shall I go for the next?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll be moving. It's like DevOps versus Agile, I can say. Yeah, there are different type of comparison in DevOps and Agile actually. So as I said, that is Agile is a something continuous approach. DevOps is a practice actually in between what DevOps development and operation teams. Mainly the purpose is to manage end-to-end engineering process. That is to manage complex project. And the team size, yeah, there are a lot of things actually. Like I'm not just covering, like I'm your team size is also big. You're also small teams is fine. Fewer people could be fine. The skills will be like spread across development and operation team. Agile will have like all team members will have similar kind of skills.
Sir,
So
is the word agile taken from like agility, like agile quick? Because there is this term used as sprint.
yeah, definitely. You can
Okay.
use that, yeah, something like that.
Everything is like rapid, quick.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, it is something because the main before DevOps, only Agile was there, right? So waterfall or Agile was in the scene actually. So why they go for Agile is like it's quite fast. There are a lot of opportunities like they can check with their customers. Do they have any changes on the requirements? So it will give some mobility. So that's why it has got popular. And now DevOps came. So DevOps itself is using some of Agile methodologies, as I said. So DevOps, as you know, that it is collaboration mainly. Agile is having something like sprint and all, like it will be more on that mobility and all. It is something like fast sprint and all. The duration, the main thing is the duration will be on like the deliver the code to the production. Production means, do you remember that environment that I said, like development, UAT, Pro, 3, 4, something like that? Yeah, production version means the version that we are like we are seeing on public, like the Amazon version that we are seeing currently. That is production version. So the ideal goal to deliver code to production daily is every few hours, right? Which means if they have an update, if the developers have some updated code that can be delivered to the production environment in every few hours, which means it's that much fast. HL development is managed the units of sprint, so this is time is much less than a month or something because each sprint has to be completed. So comparatively, DevOps will like reduce the time in between releases actually. Shall I move to the next one? Like because this is mostly a definition, but like they can have a summary of it.
Yes, sir.
Sufyan, are you following? If you have any,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm following.
okay.
No, I don't have any doubt.
Yeah, cool. Then, yeah, regarding areas, it is something like a fast delivery. It is related to software development itself. So, yeah, there are some times that will come while we like moving forward. Feedbacks, yeah, it's an important, right? So it is there actually. It is there in DevOps and Agile also. So mainly feedback will be there in internal team, but here it will be from customer. And yeah, leave it for this because you may don't get an idea on this now. So it is DevOps is mainly focused on operational business readiness, where this is on functional and non-functional readiness. So here in DevOps, what happens? Development, testing, implementation are equally important. So definitely here, developing software is inherent to Agile actually. And the quality will be better for DevOps. Agile yeah, give products that have different requirements, and also it will have a better quality. But then Agile will get better quality in DevOps. And tools, Puppet Chef. Yeah, as I said, there are a lot of tools. Here also, yeah, I said Jira, one of the famous tools that we use. So yeah, these are the main things actually when we can compare DevOps with it. So mostly Agile and DevOps, that are the two things that will be following in software development area for now. And yeah, that's it for me for today, bro. It's been another session with a lot of concepts, a lot of theory, a lot of things. Even if it is, and I know like theory is something like makes you guys something boring, but like it's needed. Like some theory that we need to understand, concepts we need to follow, basics we need to understand. Because only if we are able to understand the basics, then that will keep that maximum out of it. Otherwise, it will not help us much because that understanding the basement has to be like a rigid, and it must be like put as much as you can. So do like watch these sessions again and again. Like whenever you are doing your this thing, your practicals, labs, and all. Yeah, these sessions may help you. So yeah, that's it for today. Do you have any questions for me? Just ask and I'll finish it off.
No, sir. I'm good. Thank you.
Okay. So till now you guys are following this, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And, yeah. Just wanted to know, do you guys do you have any trial accounts or something in Azure?
No, sir. I don't have
I
an account in Azure.
I had a trial account, but I mean I already used it. So now I guess I have to go with the pay as you go model.
Okay. Okay. So Abdullah don't have, and Sufyan already taken trial, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, we can think about it because we need an account. Yeah, go ahead. Abdullah, you are saying something.
Yeah, I was just saying, yeah, I didn't use Azure yet.
Yeah, then you can use trial one. Sufyan, yeah, before jumping to trial, don't go and take trial for now, Abdullah. I'll tell you, then you can take. Now we'll be mostly using some labs and all, so you guys can like you can use Azure portal without trial accounts. Okay. So,
Got it.
okay, yeah. Make sure. Do you guys have any Microsoft accounts?
Yes, sir, I do.
You said Microsoft account?
Yeah, Microsoft account like uh, yeah, Microsoft account. Which means that an idea.
Yeah, of course. I guess Abdullah have as well because I mean, our university has Outlook on that account. So I guess Abdullah has that account too.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I do have Microsoft, just like specific main Microsoft or
Yeah, it is
Microsoft
like it is like
365.
yeah, it is like only Microsoft account. That's it. Like
Yeah, yeah.
if you have a Gmail, you can take it. You can
Okay.
use that for yeah. Yes. Yeah. Okay, just wanted to understand what's your start about that. Okay, and then and Sufyan, don't go with the pay as you go for now. Okay, I'll tell you. Uh, then you can go for that. Otherwise, like you don't need to go for that because it will cost you.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So you can think about it later. Later means yeah, once it is required. There are some labs which is already available, so we can refer that. So that's it for today, guys. Actually, thanks for joining. Thanks for the session. Thanks for your feedbacks and so definitely thanks for your support.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Do for